been keeping it in the fridge.
You got new doors, Grandma.
Yeah, aren't they beautiful? And Bill, the kitchen is warm. That's the best part. I can go sit here and I opened it right now. Decent. I opened it. The north door is just up there. I'll stay out in the restroom. But Linda, no, I don't want Linda in the nice house. Linda's not arriving. Well, it's nice to have you, William. Would you like some honey?
This is better than hiding.
Yes, did you tell your dad that?
He knows it. He just wanted to.
Well, you do look, you really look good.
You. Feel good.
What do you need, honey?
You know.
There where you work. First drawer. First drawer.
Walk a little closer.
Bingo.
Walk.
Grandma,
Roger,
you
your
drink,
son
you
is
drink
saying
beer,
this
Grandma?
beer is better than
Bring it
Heineken.
all around the
Well,
back of the
Paulson's
table.
a Canadian beer, they make it out of New York, they make it up in Minnesota.
Right.
But they have a long way to go
Spread
before they
out.
pick up
I
our.
don't have a wide angle lens.
Where
So
does
what
it
we need to
live
do is maybe get TD and you and Ron
Well,
or whatever
Bill,
over
you
next
asked
Well, no,
time.
I'm really, Mother's
She
one
was
we
just
want to
really
get.
very, very
She's
bad.
talking. We're not worried about the rest of it.
Okay.
But I was
She
wondering,
told him.
I
she
thought
said,
where
"I don't
Roger's
care
sitting
if
would be a
this is good
terrific
for me. I
background
want you to
for her,
give me
wouldn't it?
some medicine so I can enjoy my family and go to midnight mass.
Or if you just want to, that's fine. I can deal with that. That I can do.
Rocking
What are they
carrying
gonna do
away.
about the kernels
Nope.
that stuck in your teeth?
You sure? Yeah, we could.
That's why I don't eat popcorn. I never can get those kernels out of my teeth. I wear the tip of my tongue out trying to get them out.
Why don't you get one of those plastic toothpicks like Mother has? Or dental floss?
I use dental.
I never use that, like to use that word
I
dental
use
floss,
dental
it always
floss.
remind me of foreign. Like
Oh.
you use foreign to clean your teeth with, you know.
I don't know about that. Now, Mother, here, I'll get you, would you drink a little more wine, Mother? No. Okay.
What kind of wine you drinking?
Oh, none
All
other.
good day.
You won't drink any
the good
other
stuff.
brand, Bill. None other but Mogan David.
Okay, you said you were gonna set me
Come
up.
in here, dear.
All right.
Right over here, and I'm gonna let you mix
Okay.
your own because you probably know how you want it. This is
How
the
you
vodka, tonic.
All right. Sounds good.
Trying to find Christmas gifts.
Here, give you a.
Actually, you know, I just said I wanted
Well,
that.
glad you found that. I
just
see you.
drink a beer.
Did you ask if you could share this? I mean,
Absolutely, we got-
I got one more in the
Mine.
car. I'll drink one.
Yeah, you're
Will
good.
Roger slap my hand if I drink a
Oh,
Heineken?
I don't think he will. I
Hey,
don't
that's
think
supposed to last me throughout 1975, so
I don't
85,
think
so
he'll
I.
slap your hand. I don't think so. Here's a can opener.
Okay.
You're looking sure.
Where'd you, oh, there you go. There you
When
go,
you get the
Joe.
rest of the call,
tell
go
him-
with it.
There you go, Joe. Right.
Actually, this is supposed to be up.
Yeah, but when do you get the rest of the call?
Roger, please, no. I just talked him into the fact that this white collar looks really
It really
nice
does, but-
on
Yeah,
the
it
shirt.
does look.
Yeah, but where's the rest of it? I mean, they're almost, it's supposed to be almost 2.5 inches wide now, but there's only an inch and a
No,
quarter.
now the style is this real skinny
Good style.
stuff.
Oh, is that what the Indians are wearing now, like Nehru, guys like that? If ever I've seen a Nehru shirt, that's a Nehru shirt. I didn't say narrow, I said Nehru.
Hey, Mother, you know what? The other day when Mary Ellen was here, she was talking about when we were little kids.
What, you got some water there?
This is whiskey.
Do you want some water?
Some wine.
Want some ice water?
Do you remember, she was talking about when you used to hang the stockings here?
Yeah.
What did you do in those days?
What do you do?
I mean, how did you fill the, what did you put in the stockings?
Well, that's what tassels, and I put candy and orange and bananas in them.
Is that what we
That's
got?
the only orange you get all year. I didn't get one, the orange stuff.
Did you get them from the grocery store? Or?
But Grandpa usually bought them for you, didn't he?
Yeah. And then another year, I had the candy all stored away in the washing machine. And you kids got down there and eat it up before.
Him and Mary Ellen did that, Mother. We still believed in Santa Claus. And they stood at the top of the stairs, and you and Dad went down to the basement. Oh. And what was it? Mary Ellen said, Corey be the guy. Mother said, there's not a bit of it left. What'd you do that year?
Grandpa
Oh, Grandpa brought. Grandpa Carswell? Well, that was about all you could afford, I guess.
Oh, well, it is. Your kids have plenty to eat that you didn't have to eat that up to survive. This dang devil, that's what it was.
No, my mother, we didn't get that much candy in those days.
Oh, no, that's right.
Candy was a real treat.
Well,
Did you
Mary
make
would come
homemade
over.
candy, Mother?
Mary
Oh,
Ellen would
yeah.
come, Mary Tazewell would come over and we'd make fudge.
And divinity.
Divinity.
Still see Aunt Mary beating the divinity.
What's divinity out of it?
Egg whites, what else, Mother? What else?
Leah was making it the other day, and she called me up to tell Kitty over she needed somebody to pour the syrup while she stirred. And I didn't know what she wanted. We went over there last night, and she told me what she wanted. And I said, oh, my sister-in-law and I used to make that. We didn't have no trouble with getting it stirred in. And she says, I did. But she was making it with thermometer. But I was making it by the way.
Did they ever make taffy in those days, Mother, where you have to stretch it out
Yeah.
and cut it up with a scissor?
You remember that you left all of us getting back. And we made taffy. Of course, as soon as Mother and Dad get out of the house, that was our favorite thing. We drank big
Was that made with molasses?
Baptiste came down and Uncle Jess and Aunt Mary's kids were here. They got ready to take them home. Their sweaters, coats were full of taffy. We threw taffy on the seat.
It wouldn't think about any place you put it. Mostly in your teeth.
Wouldn't you kill your kids?
We had to,
You know what used to be a big treat when the heavy snows came? The maple syrup would come down from Maine, and you take that fresh maple syrup just been cooked, and then go out and put it out in the snow. And it would get hard, then that's what you used to have for dessert, a salad.
I can remember having snow ice cream.
Yeah, but this was snow maple syrup. It was delicious. Oh,
I can remember snow ice cream. That was a big treat.
we had relatives that would come down from Maine right after they got through with the maple syrup. God, that was the days for pancakes and what. Did you use a lot of pancakes?
That used to be a Sunday night supper with Mother. We had a big dinner at noon, pancakes for Sunday night supper. Well, and in the morning for breakfast, we used to have what I call jarred meat. Now I know, pork tenderloin. Yeah.
That's pretty good jarred meat cake.
Pork tenderloin, and she fixed it and put it in the cake.
She's the one that they've told me
I'd
to
say, I don't know.
get. They don't care about
And I'd say I
the
want the jarred
I'd
meat.
say, I don't know what I'm gonna fix for dinner. She'd pipe up in the back seat. Oh, let's have some nice jarred meat.
Please call it jarred meat.
It was put into like little gallon jars, or you put it in your glass jar. Well, those I tried that and put it down in the bar, you know.
In my car.
Well, of course, there's something to start.
It's amazing that it would keep. You would just put it in the grease and put it in the cake, and then it would.
And I got to get too close to the soda.
What kind of stove was it? Wood burning? Or what kind of, you put the wood in underneath and then, how'd you know what temperature you were cooking things?
We did. We told that by our bodies.
How old were you when you moved to this house?
Well, I meant it 20 years old.
Well, now, Mother,
Not to
not to this house. When you and Daddy first got married,
you didn't live here.
you didn't live here. Where did you live when you and Daddy first
We
got
were
married?
down what we call the Taylor.
The Taylor place. And then you moved to the James place. And that's the place where you worked your tail off.
That's where we just able to own the whole.
Yeah, what was, you always tell me that when we go by. You were expecting Jim, and you had him and Mary Ellen and a hired man who lived in.
Yeah.
And you went out and did, I guess, the work of a man outside.
Yeah.
And then they kept the hired man in the house. She did his laundry. Had him 3 meals a day.
Were you farming?
And we have farm,
How many acres?
300 acres.
Wow.
Did you keep horses?
Yeah, we had to, we didn't have a tractor.
Right. And then, did you hire on men to work the fields in the summers
And they
and
boarded
harvest?
right at our house.
Yeah, and did you have to cook for them and
Sure.
all that? So my grandmother talks about having
But
to
your
feed the
grandmother's
hired
name?
hand. Helen Dunseth, they were farming out
You're Waverly.
south of Waverly, yeah, near Modesto. But,
Every time, oh, go
It
ahead.
wasn't easy.
Every time we go to Woodson Road, Mother sees the James place and she says, oh, many a hard day's work I put in there. She always said that's where they made the money to buy this place. Hey, we did
What
get
did
a
you
toast. Cheers, Bill.
Merry
Christmas.
Merry
Thanks
Christmas.
for coming.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for coming. It's
Everyone.
nice to have you.
Good to see you.
Been looking forward to this. I didn't want to tell Mother you were coming because I was afraid she wouldn't sleep. You know, she gets excited when family are coming to see her.
Bill came up to Julie's wedding, Mother.
Julie
Julie got
Danzel
married.
up in Minnesota.
Yeah, we saw him up there when we were up there for Julie's wedding.
I guess I knew he was going to die, but
Do you remember when Mike and Denise lived up in Minnesota?
Remember Apple Valley, the night we got lost, and every time we stopped, Mother'd get out and get in the trunk and get food?
I live about a half hour from there now.
Apple Valley.
I live almost just outside of downtown Minneapolis.
Yeah, oh, I'll never forget that
I
night.
didn't realize you lived that close to Apple Valley.
Well, Mother, as long as we're getting a history of the family, let's continue this. When did you move here? When did you and Dad move here? Do you remember? How, you moved here from the James place?
No, moved there from Taylor.
No, you moved from the south.
I was at
Was it the James place, though, that you made the money to buy this place?
yes, well, that's where we lived. Too.
So do you remember when you moved here? You bought it from
She was
the
expecting me,
Was she?
so that would have been,
Okay.
do you want me to tell my age?
No, I don't even know how old you are.
You don't
I
have
really
that.
don't care. I'm going to be, Mother, how old am I going to be? January 10?
Then you're in the 10th, I know that's not.
I'm going to be, let's see, I'll be 64 years old.
Woo!
God, how can anybody live to be that old?
What's 64 from 84?
20?
You moved here in 1920, Mother.
Did you have electricity?
You moved here in
He lived in,
Did you have electricity when you moved here?
Or you know
Did
who
you have
gave
to
us
bring it?
electricity? Roosevelt. He was the great
They
savior.
brought it right in the back door.
Yeah. He carried it in?
Listen,
Yeah.
I
Did he
grew
bring
up-
it in a bucket?
I grew up with thinking Roosevelt was the Messiah. He was for the farmers.
You may not die with that same
Roosevelt was
opinion.
president in mid-40s.
Well, no, he came in, he was in the 30s. Roosevelt was president in the 30s. Well, of course, he had 4 terms. He bridged,
That's right, I
30s
forgot
and
that was
40s.
before you could.
he bridged 30s and 40s.
What kind of car was your first car, Grandma? What kind of car did you
I
have?
know.
well, we never owned the Ford, that's one thing, Continental, had nothing to do with the Ford.
Chevys?
Everybody
You know,
was buying Fords.
The first
Yeah.
car, Mother,
Huh?
you told me it was the only new car up until later years that you ever owned brand new, and I remember.
It was a Vila.
Veely, with isinglass curtains.
With eyes and glass curtains.
You can roll right down in case there's a change in the weather.
I can still remember Dad on Sunday morning going out of a B rating, putting those curtains on. I was so fascinated with the way he'd be buttoning the curtains on the
That's what it be.
car. Otherwise, it was open. It was an open car, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, Mother, you must have made a few bucks if you could buy a Vila.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could buy a Veely for practically nothing. Veely would cost you $20,000 today. No, they don't.
It
Do
wasn't,
they
it wasn't,
really make Beards?
No, they never. I think 1938 or 39 was the last year they made them, Mother. They only made them a short while.
a Veely was your first car?
Yeah.
What color was it?
Black.
Black with yellow, Leo Caswell remembers that it had yellow spoke wheels. I said, boy, now you were really sporty. Yellow
I was
spoke
gonna
wheels
say.
and isinglass curtains.
Wooden wheel.
Wooden
What
wheels.
they, mother?
Wooden wheels.
Wooden wheels.
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of miles out of it? How long did you own it?
Oh, we had those for a long time. In jail.
What,
Oh,
10,
wore out.
10, 12 years?
Yeah,
Really? That long?
all the main cars in them days are the Chevy lights.
Yeah, I'd say you'd have to trade them every year.
Really?
You know who we saw at the reunion last night, Mother, that was asking about you, is Herman Baker's son David, who you bought your last car from.
Oh,
He was wanting to know
Did you
how.
tell him what a jewel it is?
Yeah, I said you really
It
enjoyed it.
is such a good
We had a
car.
lot of good trips in it.
It really is a good car. It's a Chevy,
The one she's
How,
driving.
how old is Chevy? What year?
1978,
Oh.
and it is a little prize. It drives.
Was that a Malibu or?
My
It is.
grandmother
It
had
is
a
a Malibu.
1964 Chevy Malibu.
It's
Had
a Malibu.
47,000
What do you
miles
think?
on
What do you think of the Malibu compared to your Beeling?
it.
well, let's see, we had about,
We have right now, Mother.
Yeah,
It's a prize car.
No, it's been so long since she had a Beetle, she probably doesn't even.
Did you have to crank the first car you had? Get out and crank it if it died on you?
But back in those days now, the Veely would not go through the muddy roads. You didn't have roads like we have today out here. And Christmas morning, Dad, many mornings, would hitch up the team of horses to the bobsled. And
we
put
always
bales of straw, and put we kids down in between them. And Grandpa Caswell, remember how you'd stand here at the door? Mother had the clothesline strung across here with all the stockings. And Grandpa would stand there, so none of us could get in to get the stockings. We had to go to Mass first.
Now, who was Grandpa Tasker?
Our
My
father.
father.
Your father. When was he born? Do you remember what year you would have been born in?
No, I wouldn't.
Do you remember much about him?
Oh,
Very yes.
the fall she talks about is her
How old do you
dad.
live to be, mother?
78.
Mother, tell a story. We were discussing this yesterday morning, talking
Let's
about.
do some quick trivia. How's your mind?
About the night
She's
he died.
94.
No, we're.
So,
Her dad lived to be 78, and he had to be about 20, 25
when she
when she was born.
So
So
that
take
would
that
be,
back to the 1830s.
104 years back.
Yeah.
So it would be 1880.
87. No,
1880. No, couldn't be 1880. It would have
She
been-
was born in
she's born in
1890.
1890.
She was
So
born
take
in
20 years off of that, would be
1890.
1870
60.
I was
or
born.
1860. So say he was
70.
born in 1860.
He was born.
Mother, tell the story of his conversion when he was dying. That's a story you love to tell. The night he was dying and
Oh. Oh, yes, well, he did talk to me. He was an Englishman to start with. And, he'd been baptized in the Episcopal Church. But, he never went to the church at all. And, he spoke about joining the Catholic Church. So, anyway, he was at the time, he was seeking instructions before he died. So the priest came in and when the night he died, he looked up at him, said, I know who you are, and I know just what I'm going to do, and I want to tell you, nobody talked me into it. He checked his fingers. He was, he said, he knew he was going to. And of course, he was being baptized in the Episcopal Church. There was no baptism because,
No water was used?
no,
Oh, so they,
no. But we still are of that opinion that anybody, if they are baptized in another church, that's all right. We honor that baptism in the Catholic Church.
she always tells the story of when he got up, remember? And when he came back to go to bed and Daddy tried to help him.
Oh, yes. My husband went to help him back in the bed. He said, no, stay right there, do this myself. He said, I don't need no help. And he didn't, and he just laid down on the pillow and just one breath and it was gone.
Right after he joined the church.
Huh.
But
He came over from England?
Oh, yes.
How did they come
His
over
father and
from,
mother.
his father and mother came over from England?
Oh, yes.
How old was he?
Oh, I think only just 2 or 3 years.
I see. Where did they come from in
The
England?
basket.
Do you know?
Oh, I did know, but I can't call the name right
Just wondered.
now.
well, she's so proud of her English heritage.
My family
Proud of
is,
her
my
Irish
family,
heritage.
my family is English also. On my mother's side, my grandfather's name was Knight. and-
Knight.
K-N-I-G-H-T?
Yes.
Ooh, that is English.
There was a great dentist here in Jacksonville by that name. Knight, Dr. Knight.
Dr. Knight, I wonder if it was any relation.
Might have been.
They lived in,
But I never did run across another Tasman.
I've never, that's an unusual name. It's T-A,
No, it's T-A-R-S-D.
Carswell.
But you know, the English say is out the R's,
Carswell.
and they put them in where they don't belong.
Kind of like the Easterners.
Right.
You know, they'll
Yeah.
say Huber,
Yeah.
Huber, but
Um,
then they'll leave out an R where it should be.
What was your mother's maiden name?
Dwyer,
Dwyer?
D-W-Y-E-R.
Full-blooded Irish was she.
All
right?
Irish.
Did she come over, was she born in
Oh,
England?
she was
or-
born in this country.
Oh. Do you remember her grandparents at all?
No, not her
Hey,
family.
Mother, you know what? Why don't you move down here and then we can all hear you?
Yeah.
Why don't you move down here at this chair and then we can all hear you? Because in a few minutes, I'm gonna ask you to sing that song you sang for us kids when we were little.
Haven't you seen the old sideboard with the?
We used to call them pantry, that was.
No, oh
No.
no, this was just a big thing that went all the way to the top, kept dishes in it. Then mother, this wasn't always open.
Oh,
This used to have covers.
somebody got mad, put a hole right through the wall. or
That was me. There was a cupboard there, and every dish that was over here, I had to walk from here over there to the cupboard. That's the only closet was in this kitchen. I had those put in.
You mean those cabinets?
Yeah, I had those put in afterwards. But, I took that out of there and just put those double doors in, so kind of put those 2 rooms
These?
together.
These double doors?
What song is she supposed to sing? That's what I want.
There's one song that Mary Ellen said, well, she said too, she always sang it
She'd
to
be
us
singing at
kids.
Christmas time, or she'd be rolling out the bread over here. Jolly old St. Nicholas, and I can remember the flower hanging on her finger going, "You tell a single soul." Like we say, you better watch out.
We could do a little, we could do a chorus of that.
What
No,
if we
we don't St. Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell us in your song what I'm going to say. Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now you dear old man, whisper what you're going to mean. Tell me if you can. Johnny wants a pair of skates. Susie wants a dolly. Nellie wants a storybook. She thinks dolls are folly. As for me, my little brain is not very bright. Choose for me, old Santa Claus. What you think is right.
I'm very good. Very good, Mother. My gosh,
Now I
that was a
see,
good
now
one.
I see where all the singing in the family
Oh,
comes from.
She's got,
But can you imagine me singing to my grandchildren, one of the, oh, they'll say, "Grandma, forget it." Not with my voice.
Did your mother used to sing that to you?
No,
she's still spitting.
I learned that.
She's still
I learned
really.
that back
Buddy, you look like you got tobacco in your mouth.
Spitting the kernels out.
Did
Better
you,
get you a cuspidor. They call it spit doing it those days.
did you go to a one-room?
Don't spit on
my
my Laura.
Did you go to a one-room schoolhouse when you were young?
Indeed I did, was glad to get to that.
Did you have to walk, or did you have a
Yeah.
pony, or?
Well, I did have a pony part of the time, but we usually walked.
Uh-huh.
Well, back in those days.
Where was the school, Mother?
West of us there, you know where the Simpkins lived, Well, it was on the Simpsons.
Wasn't that Buckhorn? Did they call
Buckhorn.
it Buckhorn?
Buckhorn School.
Where are
But
your
did you used
parents?
to live on the East Eight? I mean, on the southeast.
That's where Grandma and Grandpa lived when they did the farm.
That's where mother bought that place.
Let me put your chair
Oh, when they moved from the farm.
Don't get your hand caught in that piece between. You know, I did that one day.
Why did I think you were born in Jacksonville?
I'm born out there south of the Diamond Grove Cemetery. The old Matthew.
Would that be out close to where Uncle Harry used to live, out in that area?
Okay.
Not quite that far, but along,
No, it's old
the
Matthew.
Diamond Grove run right into where Uncle Harry used to live.
Come over here and sit by me, hon.
You go to far enough east, or far enough south? Where did Harry live, Mother?
Harry
Yeah, but what's
lived
it called? There was a name for it.
Buckhorn.
Well,
Buckhorn.
there's cheese over there.
Buckhorn, that's where Uncle Harry lived. Hungry.
You can't be hungry. Bill, why don't you come over here and sit by me, please?
Want water, Grandma?
No, thanks.
You'd rather have wine. You got any Morgan
No,
David?
I don't.
What we done, run out of Morgan David?
Come over here and sit by me.
You know what, there's another song that Mother sings with great, energy. It's the one about the English, when they were persecuting the Irish.
Oh, that's.
You know, the potato famine?
Same
Yeah.
When the English, well, actually, they starved the Irish. That's when the
Yeah.
Irish all came
Oh,
over here.
Molly dear, and did you hear the story that's going around? The Irish is forbid by law to grow on Irish ground.
The shamrock is.
The shamrock is forbid by law to grow on Irish ground. St. Patrick's Day no more we'll keep, his color can't be seen. For there's a cruel world war again, the wearing now the green. I met Fitnapper Tandy, and he took me by the hand, and he said, how is old Ireland, and how does she stand? She's the most distressful country that ever you did see. They're killing men and women there for the wearing now of the green.
You know what's,
That's good.
you know what's amazing though, that an Irishman and an Englishman got together like mother
Really?
and dad.
Really?
Yeah, Dad there ended up with a Frenchman.
And tell them how your
That's-
marriage was blessed by both sides of the family. Mother was just, well, I've heard it, but she
Oh,
was
yeah.
telling it to the grandchildren yesterday.
Our marriage is suitable on both sides. We had everything go our way. My father played for Con's father, my husband, wedding. That's how close the
What did
two
he,
fathers were.
what did he play?
Violin.
Violin, he could play it by ear or by note.
By gosh.
My gosh.
By golly.
By golly, by gee.
Until about after he was married, Grandpa used to play the violin, didn't he, to make a little extra money?
Oh, yes.
He was a gypsy?
Now, Bill, we don't tell that part.
He was far from being a gypsy. He had a wonderful mother, so they say. Of course, I never, she didn't live that I got to see her, but I'd heard tell of her after she was dead about what a wonderful person she was. She must have been, because my dad was a good person.
His
He
mother,
just thought his mother was the only thing ever happened.
And when he was asked to play, whose wedding was it?
Tom's father.
Yeah, but then you were telling about one wedding he was asked to play right after he married,
Well, that is.
and he wouldn't play unless they wanted to. I think you said,
He said he used to play just for the fun of it, you know. But he says, I'll tell you now, I'm married, and he says, we have a baby, and he said, I don't do those things no more. He says, I don't go away from home very much, and he wouldn't either. And, but he said, now it's different, and he said, I'll have to charge you, Jim. something for this. And Jim Lonergan, that was the other father-in-law, he said, oh, that don't make any difference. So I think for the whole night that he played, of course, in them days, you went to a dance about 8 o'clock and you didn't come home till 4 or 5 in the morning. We didn't get right in them days.
We wonder how they got by with that. You know, you kids were supposed to be home by midnight, 1 o'clock at the latest. Mother said be 4 and 5 o'clock when they got home.
Well, we just bought a horse and buggy and maybe the roads funny.
The roads are bad, supposed to be a flat tire.
The difference in those days is they could blame it on the horse losing his way. So what they did know is they let go of the reins, the horse would take him right to the house.
Yeah, that's right.
Joy got a letter from a friend who was talking about owning a car and hating to be dependent on something she doesn't know anything about. She helps design helicopters, right? She hates being dependent on something she doesn't know how to fix. She goes, I'd rather own a horse because when it makes funny noises, at least you got some idea what's wrong.
Aw, cute.
Well, these kids have never heard. Tell them what a platform dance is.
Yes.
Oh, that's a.
You ever hear of a platform dance?
Get together and just lay out a regular farm well, it'd be a farm for about 2 or 3 rooms. And they make that nice and smooth, that floor, you know, for to dance on. And then they could move it from house to house. And when I was married, that's the kind of a dance we had, was a platform dance.
And you danced
Yeah,
up on the
That
boards.
was a big deal.
Yeah, they come out now with
Like the
something called
reception?
break dancing. You can order your own
Yeah.
little pad to break dance with.
I bet that.
History repeats itself.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah.
It's just about, it sounds like the same thing.
The platform
They
They
dance.
didn't have square dances in those days.
So how many sets?
They had
could they-
square dances.
How many sets could they put on one of those
They
platforms?
they
That's what you
could
said.
put 4 or 5 sets, it's just according to how long they made it.
Did Grandpa call square dancing? He just played.
No, he played the violin.
My granddad called.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Did he?
They have a tape. They have a tape of him
Calling? Oh,
Yes.
isn't that
Do,
great?
si, do.
Yes, and he'd go
Adam on
on
the
and
left, Adam on the left.
Alum on Adam on the left.
yeah.
Oh.
I tried to teach Ethan how to square dance, but
Oh,
she
boy.
just didn't want to learn.
I just love those.
Grandma, what Christmas do you remember the most? Which one sticks out in your mind the most?
I don't know, I think all of them, yeah, just, we all had, thanks be to God, a happy reunion every Christmas, all the kids would be there and all in all, it was a happy time.
Mother, did you have midnight mass when we were little kids?
Oh, yes.
Well, not midnight mass. We got up, went to mass about 5 o'clock, Mother, didn't we? We went to mass in the dark. We didn't go up midnight. We got up
But
early
you
in the
went in the
morning.
dark.
Yeah. Oh, it was always dark when we went.
I was just wondering if you remember Christmas when you got a lot of gifts yourself or something that might stick out.
We
A
wasn't-
lot of snow or being
We
stranded
wasn't
somewhere.
so much on gifts as we just candy and peanuts and,
It was mostly things you made yourself
yes,
then.
yeah.
Well, it was probably
Did you make
accident.
all your own clothes and
Yeah.
all the clothes
Oh,
for
yeah.
your kids?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have any kind of sewing machine or did you sew them by
Oh,
hand?
no, we had a Singer sewing machine.
Well, and you know what?
Did
She
you use the
patched
pump?
for all the grandchildren. Didn't she do all your patching?
Right. I
Edith-
never patched. a
Mother
thing.
did all of Ed's
She
patching.
patched for all the grandchildren, every one of them. I don't know, are you doing anything for the great
And
grandchildren?
she even patched for some of the great grandchildren.
Do you remember the time that I sent the jeans out? Was it you or Chris?
I remember some.
And that's back when they were wearing the raveled bottoms.
Yeah.
Mother
yeah.
hemmed them. Oh my God.
I didn't know the style.
Major catastrophe.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Oh, yes,
Mother
I-
was a great store. Mother, you were talking about, a while ago about moving here. What children were born here in this house?
Well, you were the last one.
From me on down, Mother. Em and Merrill and Jim were born.
Let's see, Jim,
Jim was born at James' place, I remember. you
Was
telling me.
Edith born
well,
here?
when we lived there, but he was born in the hospital.
Yeah, but I was the first one born after you moved here.
Was Eve born in this house?
Yeah.
She was? Do you remember
And
anything
he
about
was
her
too.
birth? Do you remember anything about her birth?
All of us were born at home
Yeah.
after Em and Merrill and Jim. Those three were born in the hospital.
No, Mary Ellen was born over at James, over at the Taylor place.
What was Mary
I
Ellen?
didn't have, had my room ordered at the hospital. Dr. Jones came out and he said, "You're not going to no hospital today, you're staying right here."
Where were
So you
you?
had a doctor? You
Oh,
didn't have a midwife, you had a doctor
yes,
for all your children?
oh, yes.
Which one was it that you got up in the middle of the night? You were staying with Grandma and Grandpa and on Southeast. And you laced your shoes.
Oh, that was Emily, yeah. I was,
Had they already? Okay.
and, anyway, I took sick in the night and, boy,
Dad took you in before.
Daddy had
Come on
left
back
money for cab fare. Didn't Daddy leave money for cab fare?
to- You take a cab.
And you walked? Was that the time you walked?
no. No, I walked up to the hospital the morning she was born.
Laced her shoes.
Would it have been a cab or
No, I was
Gee.
supposed, Aunt Kate, that I stayed with, was supposed to call a cab for me. Well, I woke up and Aunt Kate was asleep and I didn't want to wake her up. So I was getting dressed and getting out, you know, and just about the time I was going out the door, she woke up and she said, "Oh, Emma, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm going up to the hospital." "Oh, now Tom told me to call a cab." I said, "I can't wait for a cab. I'm going on." And I did.
You
was that a cab or horse's carriage?
No, in them days it was
Automotive?
yes, it was something, I don't know what, but.
Well, now, Emma's 71.
Yeah, they
Well,
would have had.
you know, the Model T came out in 29.
I've been horse.
Okay, so then you got in the hospital, and what happened? I can't remember the story.
Well,
Was
they called Dr. Norris, and the
If it-
nurse called him on the phone, he wasn't in the hospital. And she said, he said, "Is she really having pain?" Yes, I could hear the nurse, she's stomping her feet, she said, "She is having pain, and you better get out here."
You know, my grandmother tells the story of when my dad was born. He was a real big baby, and she was getting really big, and she wanted to have him. And so the gal that lived with him and helped her out and helped her cook and such when she was pregnant, took her out in the carriage and rode her up and down on the bumpy road, hoping to get things started. But my grandma always used to say, "Well, when the apple's ripe, it's gonna drop," because
Yeah.
she said there's no way you can get it started.
Okay,
Yeah.
now, did you have him then? It seemed to me that you got up and left the hospital, didn't you?
No, I stayed at the hospital. The nurse come down to the door, and I had my room ordered there, you know. Miss Hogarth was the nurse, I will remember. And went on in there, and boy, I didn't have a bit of trouble. I believe I got along without a doctor. But she was, that's how she comes to be going to the hospital. I say, walking to the hospital,
Sure.
got me good.
Right.
And she lived a long ways, I don't know.
I was gonna say, where did she live in Jacksonville?
Well, you know, down there south of Illinois College, on that street, that would be a mile up. That would be like
What it cost to have a baby in those days, man?
$20.
$20. Well, they figured like 5,000
Oh,
or
at least that.
5,000.
No wonder that.
But that was when corn was what? How much a bushel?
And I don't remember what it was that.
Thank you, sure.
Oh, well,
What are you
it's good to
doing,
hear you
listening to
talk.
the?
No,
She's
we have
charging her
to
camera.
charge it up. We're gonna film the mass tonight with Roger and Titi singing.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna get it on
Be
film.
nice, so they're getting it charged up now.
Oh, I see.
Speaking of singing, I'm trying to think what else you sing, Mother. Oh, I know what else you sing. When Irish Eyes Are Smiling. You sing that one a lot. Why don't you sing that one? When Irish eyes are smiling, sure it's like a
in spring. In the night we shines are smiling. Sure they steal your heart away.
I forgot Mother's an alto.
I never liked that song.
Hey, there's the English coming out in her now. There's the English coming out in her now, for sure. You know what I was thinking? She sang Jolly Old Saint Nicholas, but now, you know, this Roger wanted to know what songs we're gonna sing tonight. We're gonna start with the first Noel. We could sing a chorus of that. You know that one? The first
I don't
Noel.
like that either, it's too slow.
Well, let's have a fast one.
Yeah.
What's some of your favorite modern music, Grandma?
Mother, sing, The Letter Edged in Black.
Oh,
Yeah.
now
I
this,
had Bernie play for that.
Bernie Shanahan. His mother used to sing, now this is back in the days when it was really, well, of course, we kids didn't know it, but Mother would always, I said to Mother, why didn't you sing something a little more joyful? I mean, these were the dark ages, Mother calls them. Go ahead,
I
sing
was
that.
standing by my window yesterday morning without a thought of sorrow or of pain. And I saw the postman coming down the pathway with such a happy look and jaunty air. Oh, he rang the bell and whistled as he waited. And then he said, "Good morning to you, Jack." But he little knew the sorrow that he brought me when he handed me the letter edged in black. You know, when people died in them days, that's the way they got the word, and they'd always have an envelope set aside for the tell the relatives, and it would be a letter edged in black.
now go ahead and sing the rest of it.
Oh, and it's our two that took away. I broke the seal, and this is what it said. Come home, my boy, your poor old father wants you. Come home, my boy, your mother, dear, is dead.
That
It
was
said, forgive the angry words were spoken. You know I never meant them, don't you, Jack? Oh, the angels bear me witness, I am asking your forgiveness in this letter, edged in black. And it's all right.
So that's,
Oh, wow.
But that was kind of like a forewarning, so you
you knew when
knew
you got letter edged in
that,
black.
That was written in.
Kind of like a Dear John.
Huh?
Kind of like a Dear John.
Yeah.
Then another one you sing that I like is, She's Only a Bird in a Gilded Cage.
Only a bird in a gilded cage, a beautiful sight when seen. Her beauty was sold for an old man's gold. She's a bird in a gilded cage. I got it too low. She's only a bird in a gilded cage, a beautiful sight when seen. Her beauty was sold for an old man's gold. She's a bird in a gilded cage. I strolled through the churchyard yesterday when sunset adorned the west, and looked at the people who came to grieve for loved ones now laid to rest. A tall marble monument marked the grave of one who'd been fashion's queen. Oh, I thought she was happier here at rest than to have people say when seen, she's only a bird in a gilded cage, a beautiful sight to see. Her beauty was sold for an old man's gold. She's a bird in a gilded cage.
Oh, that's a good song. I like that.
There's a lot of truth in that.
Really?
Yeah.
That is a nice
Sure is.
song.
That dates back before yesterday, doesn't it, Mother?
Huh?
That dates back before yesterday, doesn't it?
One you used to sing a lot with us, I can remember you singing it, Coming Home. Oh, what's the name of it?
Hey, come on. Hey, Pat, when did you start happy hour?
Just a minute.
some of the words.
That's what I'm trying to think, Mother. Oh, that sounds great. Well. Oh, I can't think what it is now. It'll come to me.
H-A-R-R-I-G-A-N spells Harrigan. Proud of all the Irish blood that's in me. Devil a man can say a word again me. H-A-R-R-I-G-A-N, you see, is a name that a shame never has been connected with Harrigan. That's me.
Oh, thanks for calling.
Ladies and babies are fond of me. I'm fond of them too in return, you see. Where is the man that's a man every time he can? Harrigan, that's me.
Remember the
Is
night?
that Scottish? Is that a Scottish song?
It's an Irish song.
Scottish or Irish?
Irish.
I really believe it's Irish.
Remember the night you sang that to Kerrigan coming home on the bus after we'd taken the bus trip to Chicago? Remember Kerrigan was our bus driver?
Yeah.
That music.
Oh, I'm still trying to think of one that he used
That
to
music
sing
was
so
originally
much.
meant for bagpipe, wasn't it?
Oh.
I remember that being a Scottish.
Well, they brought a couple Irishmen down from Scotland and they,
Did your parents ever talk about, or their grandparents, or your grandparents ever talk about how it was for them over in England and Ireland? What their life was like over there?
No, I don't remember of, well, my father's mother and father, I never knew. They were gone before I was
He was the Irishman,
No, he was English.
he was the Englishman.
But the Irish grandfather, I remember him. But I don't know, they didn't talk much about it. Now, he was raised in Ireland. My mother and father on my mother's side were born in Ireland
Uh-huh.
and came to this country.
Do you know when?
They,
Do you know when?
No.
Would have been
No.
early 1800s, maybe?
Oh, damn. Way back in the early 1800s.
They weren't on the Mayflower, were they?
if they were, they'd have stayed in Boston.
At the Plymouth Rock Inn, right?
No, not that.
Do you remember any stories that they used to tell you?
No, they never told me any.
Didn't tell you any stories, or?
No, I never remember my grandfather.
The McVerry said to tell you hello, Mother.
Who said?
Betty and Pat McVerry. They said they were playing the album and they wanted to call and say hello. And I told them what we were doing, sitting out there. Pat McVerry is he's a dyed-in-the-wool Irishman.
Oh, that's all.
Oh, yes. He came in to see you when you were in the hospital. Of course,
Did
you
you
don't
try
remember.
out singing an Irish song?
You don't remember. Pat McVerry loves to tell the story of how his dad was a potato farmer in Nebraska. And when he told him he wanted to be a doctor, his father said, well, we just don't have the money, son, you'll have to forget it. And then Pat liked to fill in all the blanks, kind of like we like to sit and listen to Mother.
He also likes to cuss a lot when he finds out that Monsignor Driscoll isn't getting therapy.
Pat McVerry, oh, well, they're just nice people. They're down, they're having Christmas in Florida. But you know what? I don't envy anybody in Florida.
That when they are now?
I kind of like Christmas in the Midwest.
Oh, I do too.
Just as long as we don't have as much snow as we had last year.
There's only one thing that is not quite as good as it.
What?
New England Christmas.
What?
Yeah, that's probably,
Yeah.
it has to be nice out
Hey,
there.
Roger, there's a gal in the choir tonight that's from New England, and she said when they moved here, they moved to Jacksonville, and they couldn't stand Jacksonville because it was too big, and they moved to Murrayville.
That sounds about right.
Because it reminded them of, I think it was New Hampshire.
I was gonna say, it had to be in New Hampshire. Those people there haven't even come out of the state yet.
New Hampshire, yes.
The girl that
Oh,
Bill
yeah.
was telling you about who designs helicopters, she lives in Newport News, Virginia right now. She works for Langley.
I was one of the colonies.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Well, Mother, did we get a good rendition of your jolly old St. Nicholas?
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
That
Sounded
one.
good.
But it bears repeating if you get her to do that.
The green. Can you do it a little louder this time, Mother?
No.
Yeah, can you sing Jolly Old St. Nicholas a little louder? See if you can sing it full voice as we say Magna Voce.
That's mucho volume.
Mucho volume.
Isn't this a pretty dish, Mother? I bet you know who gave that to you, don't you? Mother has all this cut glass, and she knows exactly who gave.
Yeah, that was
That
from
was right
Abe Lincoln's wife,
Wedding gift from who?
Martha Todd.
May Shanahan,
Miss Shannon. See, she knows every one of them.
May Shanahan.
she's
That's
there.
Bertie's mother,
She's
Now,
there.
listen,
grandmother.
I don't know this, I think
Was-
this is
was
not.
that
cut
Bernie's
glass.
mother?
She has some cut glass.
Oh, no.
This is cut in pieces.
Yeah.
She married a Shanahan. She
But
was
they
a
kind of
fine,
see it with the legs
the
like
woman
that,
that
you
did
know. it's-
that.
This was hand cut right in there. The rest of it looks pressed. But that's a pretty dish.
Isn't that pretty?
Yes.
It looks a lot better when it's got candy in it, or nuts or something.
Roger, here we've got plenty. Look what Janet made.
Yeah, well, you're not gonna talk me out of supper before I get into this other
Look
stuff.
at this. Isn't this pretty? Janet made this.
They brought this up today.
Isn't that beautiful?
Oh,
It ought to be
Are
tested.
those Martha Washington?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
I'd offer them to you, but you probably wait till you have, you want to wait till you eat your meal like all adults.
Oh,
Which I thought
We
was
ate
always
our
the
meal.
What do you do, limit your questions to one person?
We ate our meal. We came
Mom's
down
locking it up.
and we had.
Oh, I know, she
We
doesn't
had
say
what we
anything at
came
home,
down
she usually
with.
puts it under the mattress, you know.
Under the bed.
Bill
Not
went
in the bed.
to
so all I have to do is
dinner
reach out and get it.
What'd you have for
We
dinner?
came 600 miles to eat Leo.
Leo's Pizza. Who's
Yes.
Leo?
Right next to the jail that's been cut
Old
down.
jail, yeah.
Does that look familiar to you?
Leo's Pizza? Leo who?
Leo, I don't know what his last name is.
He's from Italy. Actually, he's from.
Is this in
Sicily.
Jacksonville?
Yes. It's best pizza we
Right,
I mean,
right,
we live in the
right.
city.
Where is it?
Right on
Right
South
from
Main
Dusty.
across from Gustine's.
Yeah.
Did you go to
Best
South Main?
pizza you'll ever taste. They make their dough every day.
Every day.
Well, I'll have to go
It's
in
Sicilian
there.
pizza and oh.
Sometimes they have a big deal, but most times they just have a little dough.
Woo.
Oh.
For a few bucks.
Oh, Roger.
See,
No, they make a few
here-
bucks from the dough.
They make a few bucks from the little boat.
But,
Well, Mother, we got the birth of Edith now. Edith was born here. You told us about Emily and Mary Ellen. What about Mary Ellen's birth? Where was Mary?
Why did
Emily,
I think all the time you were an immaculate conception?
I don't think it was running.
Mother, Emily was born at the
That is her.
hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, Emily was
That's
born
her.
at the hospital. Where was Mary
That's
Ellen
really her.
born? Where was Mary Ellen born?
There you go.
She said she didn't make it to the hospital. Mary Ellen.
Was that
You just
after
got
Aunt
shut
Rosie
off.
died?
It's all right.
Was that the day that Aunt Rose died?
I've been shut off by averages.
Yes.
You know what?
It's not the first, it won't be the last.
Mother, wasn't that the time that Aunt Rose had died
We both fell in love with Jack.
and they all left and you stayed there to
Then
clean
we
the place
decided
up?
to put an alligator that sits on those
Yeah,
jackets.
that was-
And then Daddy got called away
Sounds
from
about right.
And then Daddy got called away from the funeral to come to you because you were having Mary Ellen?
There was somebody that died when Mary Ellen was born.
Rosa, that, I remember Conman. And my mother like had a heart attack.
Well, I know you didn't get to go to some close relative's funeral when Mary Ellen was born. Mary Ellen, Mary Ellen was there.
I think it was Aunt Rose.
Hello there.
Oh, there comes.
Hi, Claire.
Hi, Claire. She looks like a little baby.
Hi, guys. There's your overcoat, buddy.
Oh, bring her over and let her see Grandma, great grandma. Oh.
Don't let her fall.
Claire. Let's go see great grandma and give her a gift.
When you go out.
Grandma's my girl.
Claire.
You want grandma big kiss?
This is keep getting big.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Pretty.
You look like Santa Claus.
I wanna know where she got all that
Marilyn, that's no way to greet your great grandma on Christmas.
Claire and Melissa, what have you been doing all day?
Did you? Oh, I'll play some. I'll play some on the piano. Maybe that will
Great
lighten
grandma?
it up.
You remember great grandma?
Where'd you get those hiccups?
You gotta sell it, Arl, and you can look through the viewfinder.
Pardon?
Right through here. You can walk in front of it, we'll edit it all down, but you look through the viewfinder and see what we're doing.
Oh, it's fruit now.
That's great. We're gonna take midnight mass tonight. This is Chris and Suzanne's unit down here, and this is our camera.
That's really neat.
Look at them shoes.
She gotta show off her pretty red dress.
Yeah.
I love pants off so fast. I love
Merry Christmas, Grandma.
My hands are cold. It is cold out there.
I told her you got kids.
I need a kiss real bad.
She's got shorts too.
Do I need a kiss real bad? Oh, and I need a hug too. Oh, and I need,
Look at Meredith.
I need a hug. Oh, goodness gracious, I
Give
need
Big
it
Graham
bad.
a
Thank you.
smile.
Wait a minute, can I say something?
Look at the tongue.
You look real pretty. You gonna go see Grandma's tree?
You let her warm up a little bit for her presents.
That's doing a little flat.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't. Let you go. I'll take her over here.
I gotta put a different coat on and go back outside. It's pretty hippie up there.
Meredith's gonna give you a kiss.
Did you bring a taco?
But she's not gonna leave her mommy. Hungry grandma. Yeah, we all think she is. Hi, great grandma. Yeah. Says that's a pretty outfit.
Are you in a smiling mood or not?
She's smiling like
Yeah, are you in a smiling mood or not? You look so pretty when you smile. You look so pretty when you smile.
She woke up kind of bewildered. We just slept all day. I wasn't sure whether we were going to stay this morning, and then they got up kind of early, and then we got back down and we were all in the dress, and we slept all the way till 3.
After coming right in on the cold, I just turned that on.
All right. Pretty dress, Meredith. We've got sliced ham and veggies. Like
Boy, with that wind and temperature dropping, man.
It's
Well, it's 0, but it is.
0 with the wind.
With the wind, it's 0.
Another one.
She's got the lights. Well, take,
Steve.
you can take those pants off. For some reason, they keep falling down, and they'll fall out on her ankle and she'll fall. So you can take them off, because they won't stay on. Yeah, take them off. That's just for warmth on the way here, anyway, the car seats.
Bill, did you make that call?